So, I think about a couple weeks ago, Ramy from Predators Catchers Alliance got arrested, put out a video, basically snitched saying that he was falsely arrested, and watching the video, here's the thing. I get, what he does is an amazing thing. He puts himself at risk every single time that he goes out there to confront one of these preds. With that being said, you're not above the law. And you can see when he's talking to these cops, he has this entitled attitude. Hell, at one point he says that, he's talking about police brutality. And I'm like, what are you talking about? It actually kind of pissed me off because you have no idea what police brutality is. You have no idea. I get that it was uncomfortable, your leg hurts, your hip hurts, all this, that, and the third. But you have no idea what police brutality is. They cite him on a couple of things. Some of it, or at least one of them, I'm a little unsure if they're in the right. I mean, I'm not a lawyer, so I can't sit there and, really argue that. And that's the whole, filming in public or filming on, you need a permit or something like that. I never heard anyone snitch saying that you need a permit if you're outside and you're recording someone. And it was some sort of weird BS when a cop was like, oh, well, if you're on your phone and you're recording, it's okay, but the minute that you have lights and other people, then you need a permit. I'm like, the hell are you talking about? They're not enclosed, you know what I'm saying? They're not shutting off a block or anything like that. It literally made no sense. But here's the thing though. All those charges, or at least that specific one, could have been fought in court. Now some of the other stuff, he's talking about how it's, false, as far as a public disturbance. And I'm like, well, technically a neighbor or somebody called because you were raising your voice at another guy. You were literally sitting there arguing with someone else. So you can't sit there and say, you didn't quote-unquote disturb the peace because that's literally what you did. And it's one of those things where he does this often. I don't know if he does it for views. I don't know, why he does it. But every once in a while when he's sitting there talking to these people, he'll just randomly start raising his voice. And I'm just like, bro, I get where you're going, and I understand that these people are just frustrating and disgusting to deal with. But you yelling just out the blue doesn't, what is that supposed to do? Other than, oh man, it's Ramy, he's being all alpha. I feel like that's why he does it. He does it to put on a show. This whole falsely arrested, and now, he's sitting there trying to collect, donations to fight his case. And I'm like, what case? What case are you actually going to fight? You are literally causing a public disturbance, and I think that he actually was on somebody else's property. He's arguing back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. There's one point where finally, one of the guys was like, alright, listen, you can go. Just get out of here. But Ramy being Ramy can't just let things go. He's the type of person that has to sit there and get in the last word regardless. So he starts shooting off his mouth as he's leaving. And then they arrest him. I'm like, bro, if you just would have stopped talking and just been on your way, it would have been a lot better, and you just wouldn't be able to try to fight some of those charges. But instead, you had to sit there and run your mouth because, quote unquote, oh, I got 1,000 viewers and I got 1,000,000 subscribers and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, bro, that doesn't matter. I hate to say that, but that doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, you broke the law. You broke a couple of laws. And for you to sit there and act like, oh man, you know, you're going to look real stupid when you're on camera. You're going to look real stupid. Oh, I work out with the sergeant. You know, I do MMA with the sergeant. No one cares about that. I don't understand why you're sitting there bragging about all this stuff. Oh, I got convictions. And no one cares about that. The only thing that you're actually doing is making it a lot worse. Because it's annoying to sit there and hear somebody just brag over and over again about their accomplishments. Yes, that's great. You got it. You got convictions. That's amazing. You actually managed to put these dirty basudas, as you call them, in jail, where they belong. And that's great. But when you're dealing with a situation with the cops, and it comes down between you either being arrested or you walking away, bro, just humble yourself for 5 minutes. Do what you gotta do. Because at the end of the day, you aren't law enforcement. You are, quote unquote, a vigilante. Regardless if your heart's in the right place, if you got 1,000,000 people that's not there backing you, at the end of the day, you're not the law. And walking up to cops and acting like you are, one, makes the situation a lot worse, and two, it actually makes you look stupid. And I don't say that lightly. I've been a fan of Ramy since he was part of Predator Poachers. I think the guy is very entertaining. You know, he definitely does get these people, you know, exposed and everything like that, and he does a great service for the kids. But I feel like a lot of times his ego gets in the way. And he starts to make it more about himself than the quote-unquote mission. And when you watch that video, which is 40-something minutes long, when you watch that video, you can see more of his ego being at play than whatever the mission was for the night. You know, there's a line that sits there and says, well, you know, they arrested the wrong person. I'm like, well, yes and no. I mean, that dude definitely should be arrested. But you broke the law. And the fact that you was only going to get a ticket and probably just be on your way, you know, instead you got a mouth off and you got yourself in a lot worse situation than it needed to be. And now you're going to sit there and start trying to panhandle your subscribers to get money to try to, what, sue to the police department, to fight the case, the charges, whatever it is. Good luck. Anyway, with that being said, I'm going to try to link his video. I'm going to link his video down in the description box, if it's still up. I'll link the video. Watch it yourself. Watch it yourself. Make your own opinion. And comment below, you know, your thoughts. Do you think that the police were wrong? Do you think that Ramy was in the wrong? What are your thoughts? Thank you for watching. Be safe. I will see you in the next video.